Hi guys, Amber here. Welcome back to In Conversation with ATF. My guest today is back for his second appearance. He is known as the voice of Megatron on Transformers Beast Wars, Optimus Prime in Transformers Animated, Grandpa Max in Ben 10, Clank in Ratchet and Clank. Clank's the little robot. Sorry, my memory's quite fuzzy today.
Oh, my memory's fuzzy every day. Yeah, that's him.
There he
That's
is.
him. Sorry. Oh, I'm gonna break his arm. Yeah. God. Yeah, that's him. There he is.
Oh, he's so
Yeah.
cool. My guest is David Kaye. Welcome back, David.
Thank you, Amber. It's great to hear the accent, and it's great to be. We finally were able to do this thing. It's been
Yeah.
been a minute.
Yeah. You're quite a
Yeah.
busy guy. So we had to reschedule a few times.
It's a few. I probably about 18. I just gotta put Clank back on Ratchet's back. I don't want to break his arm. But yes, here we are. Come on, get in there. Come on. Here we are. I'm back on Ratchet's back. Okay. All right.
Well, regardless of the reschedules, we managed to meet again at last, which is quite, oh my gosh. So I've obviously got to start with showing you a few things. Of course, you went in the past few months, you've been to Nashville for BotsCon and also Chicago. You've just gotten back from TFCon. So how was it for you? How was it? What was it like?
I'm amazed I haven't picked up any viruses yet. Because I was that whole I'm still freaked out by it, but so far so good. Yes, first convention was back in March at TFCon in Burbank. Then I finally flew in the first time in 2.5 years to Dallas, and that was great. Yeah, well, I can't remember what we. Then Nashville, it was fun to see old friends. Haven't seen in a long time. The folks at BotCon are getting things, geared up again, and seeing Colin and my good friends and people in Chicago this
Yeah,
past weekend was a real thrill. It was pretty awesome. I
that's
didn't get a chance.
great.
I was slammed. With Peter Collins size lines. Well, I didn't even leave the hotel. I wanted to go downtown and should have like a breakfast at one of these cool places I read about in Food and Wine magazine, and didn't even get a chance to do that. So it's in, out, and then off to Seattle next weekend for the toy show in Puyallup, just south of Seattle. So
Oh,
it's been
that's
it's been kind of nuts. Plus all the other stuff I got in the middle. It's a bah. It's just like yeah, the whole thing's just
yes, the
you know
Megatron button.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
But yeah,
I'm glad you've had a good time. Of
I did.
course, when you went to Nashville, you met Frank Welker. I remember when you did a script reading with everyone else. He came in from the side at the end and he hugged everyone and he was there because his panel was next. And
Oh yeah, I saw
uh,
Frankie on the airplane going down, and we hugged it. I haven't worked with Frank and seen him for 3 years, so it was, hey David, how are
oh,
you? I go Frank. It was just great to see him because I mean, I saw Frank fairly often in the past, and then 3 years, and then you know, yeah,
yeah.
it was really cool to see him again in person.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, in fact, after over 2 years of, well, yeah, about 2 years or something. Well, yeah, technically over 2 years.
Yeah,
I met Frank. I got him. I went to Edinburgh earlier this month, and I met him. And this is like a little birthday card, like on those kids shows. You open the
yeah,
flaps and who's in there.
very cool.
I got to his table, and as soon as he saw me, he was like, and then he started to get up. I was like, oh my god, Dad, get the camera, get that freaking camera. And then he comes over to me and just bear hugs me for about 10 seconds. And I was like, oh my
That's cool.
god. I
He's
was like,
he's such an I don't know how you he's one of those guys is like I was talking to people about this on the weekend about him and Peter, Rob Paulson, these people that I know that just they're so nice. There's a level of niceness I could never achieve. I try. I tell people this. I try and achieve it, but I can never be. It's impossible. How do you be that nice? And Frank's one of those people. Just he's genuine, and I don't. Talent is not even. I mean, when you say talent, it's not even. It's got to be another word that goes beyond that because that's kind of. He's amazing, and for me, growing up with him, watching Scooby Doo, first time I worked on that show, and I did my line, and I hear this okay, and I look down and go, oh my god, it's Frank. That's it's pretty iconic.
oh,
It's a thrill. It's an honor to work with people like that. I'll tell you that.
Certainly, yeah, of course. And this weekend, you've just gotten back from Chicago from TFCon, and and Susan Blue was there as well. So, what was it like to see her?
Well, I met Susan for the first time back in the early '90s. So, well, she was responsible for a lot of my. Well, she's just one. I told her. I even told her in the Q&A on the panel that how much she means to me because she was really there at the beginning, and it was so great to see her as well. Um, just to hang out and just to get a chance to tell her how important she is to me in my career and just as a friend, it's been quite a while. That was so much fun. We're giggling like school children on stage during the script reading, just goofing around. It's just like old times. So it was fun.
Oh, did you meet Peter Cullen? Did you get
I've
to
met,
meet
I've
him?
met, I've met Peter. I know Peter. I've met him. We've all worked together before. So
Yeah.
I
Did you
didn't
meet
get a
him
chance.
this weekend?
I didn't get a chance to see him this weekend. No,
Oh,
he was busy. I was busy. I couldn't leave my line, and he was only in I think the one day, and
yeah.
I never got a chance. I literally went down to the floor and then did the stuff, and then went back to the room and then fell asleep and then did it all again and jumped on an airplane.
I don't
So
blame you. It's tiring.
yeah. Oh, there they are.
I know they were so sweet, and Peter signed my EO plush, and they were just, oh my god, they give the best hugs. They were just so amazing.
Yeah, oh,
Oh,
cool.
it's just such a lovely time. I'd like to discuss some things with you that, of course, I didn't get to bring up in the first part. So I'd like to start by talking to you about, of course, you weren't just in Beast Wars and Animated and Energon, Armada and Cybertron. You were also in Transformers Prime and the 2015 Robots in Disguise series. I mean, in Prime, you were Hardshell. You were one of the vehicons,
Stunticons? Were they Stunticons, I think, or something like that? Viacon, Stunticons.
Viacon, that's it. And in Robots in Disguise, you were Hammer Strike and Slash Mark. So what was it
Oh,
like to work on those shows where you weren't playing Optimus or Megatron?
well, it's always fun to be on any show. In fact, that anybody hires me, it still blows my mind. So, but it was great. Jamie Simone was the director on that one. And it's a chance to play a different kind of character. And it was based on a character. He was the leader of the Stunticons or Viacons, and he was like a mini con or those little. And it was based on just based him on an old 50s what was it, space show, what was it, Lost in Space. It's redone now and it's so cool, but the old version had the doctor, and his voice was in here like this and talked like this all the time, and so I basically did that, and they hired me, and it was the fun part about that was working with in studio again with Maurice LaMarche, and
Ah,
my original name on that show was cause for a lot of laughter, and one reason why they called it, I think they changed was it Slash Mark? Is that the
yeah, that's the current name.
it was originally called Skid Mark, and the, so Mo had a lot of fun with that. We all had a fun with that. Every time we make up different names, and Bowser was in that cast as well. So it was just like working with your peers and working with friends, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. And Jamie Simone, I worked with Jamie early in my career back in when I used to live in Canada, in Vancouver, in the late '80s, early '90s. I worked with Jamie way back when he I can't even remember what series it was in one of the series. So it's just fun to be in the room, and I've missed that for the past 2.5 3 years, and we're finally just getting back in the studio, not together at least. There's no ensemble cast recordings at the moment, but at least we're slowly getting into a studio, and but I like to stay. I'm all set up here, and I've been that way since the '80s, since late '80s, so I'm used to it. But it sure is nice to be in there, and that's the coolest thing about working on any series. And I'll say the same thing over and over again. It's just to work with your peers and have fun with them, and throw wads of paper at them and goof
Yeah.
around. And it's just the greatest. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. Well, I can't seem to find the show that you did with Jamie in the early 90s. I know the oldest show that's on behind the voice actors for Jamie is that he voice directed was Creepy Crawlers, which was had an American cast. Oh yeah, and he voice directed Transformers Prime as well.
Yeah,
He
it was
replaced
Prime.
Susan
Yeah.
Blue after her wife died. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um So yeah,
Yeah, I know what it was. He was in Vancouver on something. And that's the first time I met. I think might have been a Tex Avery. Might have been Tex Avery stuff. Might have been some they did some goofy stuff up there at that time. But yeah, I remember meeting him in Vancouver years ago. So
I'll try
yeah.
and find out which one it is, and I'll get back to
Yeah,
you.
good.
I'll message.
I don't even look. I have no idea. I rarely see my IMDb. People tell me, I go, I have no idea. I'm oblivious. So, hey, I'm on what show? Ow, excellent. They hired me. Oh, wow. I fooled them. I fooled them again.
That's so oh, that's so sweet. I know. Yeah, it says David Kaye's voice for Slash Mark is heavily based off of character actor Jonathan Harris, which you briefly said about before. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, what made you base it off him? Were you asked to do that, or were you just
No, I just
asked?
came up with it. I did a similar sort of version in Ben 10 Omniverse before
Mhm.
I was Grandpa in the Omniverse series. And it was Skurd. And he was in here, sort of Skurd up in this area here, he talked like this, and it was the weird little alien thing. And so I've always loved that show as a kid. I mean, that show's before my time, but I tell people I get a lot of voice references from these old shows and from different things. Um, People ask me this past weekend about where the references come from, and a lot of times they're from old obscure television shows. Last night I'm watching the new version of Lost in Space, the season 3. I'm a sucker for that. I love that sci-fi stuff, and it looks so great on the big screen, and as opposed to the old black and white television years ago. So yeah, I dig it.
That's really cool. Wow. I've just had a look on your Wikipedia page. I suppose the closest thing I can find to Tex Avery is you were the narrator for The Wacky World of Tex Avery. Could
That's
that have
it.
been it?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
I wonder how that would have worked though, because I think that had an
Yeah.
American cast. Because I always wonder
Yeah,
how.
we did some stuff up there. Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you, and I don't even look at Wikipedia. I'm scared to. So that's probably all wrong.
Well, yeah, it does. Oh, yeah, it does have like a Canadian cast. The only exception is Billy West. So I don't
Yeah,
really know
yeah.
how it
They
works, but
did,
I'm not.
yeah, they did co stuff. They did we did Coconut Fred's Fruit Salad Island with
Oh
Matt
yeah, that
Kulewicz and
yeah. And Rob
Rob
Paulson was
Rob
doing the
was involved
American. Yeah,
there. That's before I immigrated and moved down. But yeah, that's it used to do that all the time.
that's good. What? When did you move down to America
It was
again?
oh 07. Oh 07.
Ah, so just before Transformers animated. I
Yeah,
see.
that's one of the big reasons why I gotta be here because I was on an airplane for 10 years. Like, all it was nuts,
Ah,
you know.
I see.
And
Ah,
I had to play the good
right.
guy or I had to play the other guy. I was called the other guy. The good guy, because they both think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But that's yeah, it was took me a few episodes to get comfortable with playing the Autobot.
Yeah, yeah, it was because you've been playing a Decepticon and now suddenly you used to be bad and now we're good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and there's another thing as well I've got to bring up. So for the new Nickelodeon Car Racers game and Nick All-Star Brawl, you are now the voice of the Powdered Toast Man, who was originally voiced
Yeah.
by Gary Owens. So what was it like to
How the
step into?
toast man. Yeah. Gary is you're way too young, but Laughing was a show that I was a kid was on in the 70s. And Gary Owen was the ultimate announcer, and he came from radio as well. And I met Gary at a after party of some kind for I don't know what it was, broadcasters. I have no idea what it was. And he walked in, and I got a chance to talk to him. I said, you're the reason I do what I do. You're the whole. And he goes, well, we're all fiends, friends here, and did his little joke. And then to me, it was like, oh my God, Gary Owens. And I used to see Gary. We used to belong to the same agency at William Morris, and we used to all wait in the waiting room. And Gary used to tell stories, and every time I'd see him, he'd tell some story about. Did you ever know how Charles Bronson got his name? Well, I mean, he'll tell you the story about that and old the people he knew and worked with. I mean, it's just he was a font of knowledge, and he was the unofficial mayor of Los Angeles. And whenever Gary was in the room, he would hold court. And so again, a long-winded answer, but one of my favorite, people, and they're one of the reasons why I do what I do. I used to mimic him as a child. without even knowing what I was going to do for a living. I'm Gary Owens, the Mamas and Papas, 1964. He used to do this countdown show, um, and I'm a huge Ren and Stimpy fan. So I have, they're not here, but they're in a bin, and they're all in the box. I have every original Ren and Stimpy toy in the box, and they're down.
Wow.
For me, when that sort of came available, I had at it and just said, okay, well, I felt good about that. And I sent it in and forgot about it. And then they called me back and for the game. And I thought, wow, number one, it's amazing I'm working for Nickelodeon. And number two, a chance to play an iconic character voiced by, one of my heroes, Gary Owens. And on one of my, from one of my favorite cartoons in the world. That's the kind of stuff I used to watch, is the weird stuff. And so that was just total fun. We all had a laugh on it. We all did that on Zoom. It was all here on my computer screen. And I can see the director, and who's a good friend of mine, and just did my powdered toast man. Yeah. Yes, Billy. I hear you, Billy. And did that whole, it was great. It was, we laughed, we cried, and yeah.
We honor Gary Owens.
Oh, Gary.
Yeah, for sure. May I ask who the voice director for that game was?
Oh, what's his name? Go ahead now. You could probably know more than I do.
I'm gonna quickly look it up.
He's a fellow Canadian, and I should know his name off the bat because I've worked with him a ton of times. We're big hockey fans. Does it say? You can tell me.
It's
he also directed me and
Nick Cart.
The Wild Things Are. I was
Nickelodeon. Odeon Kart Racers. Let's look on, of course, behind the voice actors. It's like the most logical, reliable website I always use. No, it does not have an article on that website, which is quite funny. Okay. Yeah, odd. But
well, I feel bad now. I can't remember his name, and I know him quite well. I'm just blanking.
It's okay. It's okay.
No idea what his name is.
Well, no. Nick All-Star Brawl was voice directed by Douglas Carrigan and Randall Ryan.
Thank you, Doug.
Was it Douglas? Oh, he did Transformers Devastation and Shredder's Revenge. Oh my gosh, he's actually doing a lot of games.
Yeah, Douglas is huge. Yeah, we always, every time we used to get together, first subject was hockey because he's Canadian. He had Kings tickets and I had Kings tickets for the hockey team here. And yeah, Doug, of course. Why? How the hell did I forget that name? Jesus,
it happens to the best of us. Don't worry.
Oh boy.
Trust me, I always do that all the time.
Sorry, Doug.
Sorry, Douglas, if you're watching, to apologize. We still love you. Okay, here's a good one I got to bring up because since we spoke, I actually have developed an obsession with Batman. I met Kevin Conroy earlier this year. And of course, you were Commissioner Gordon in Batman Arkham City, which obviously had Kevin in it, and then Corbin was Hugo Strange, and a lot of other people. And apparently, recorded as an ensemble. Is that true?
Not me. No, I came in separately over Warner Brothers. Is my maybe the joke, maybe Mark and I've not worked with him. I've worked on the same shows with the. I've worked with Mark a bunch of times. I've never worked with Batman once, but I've worked on same series that he's in, and I just know through my friend Tara that Kevin's a gem, and I always wanted to meet Kevin, just never have. He also, I believe, he lives in New York. I believe he's East Coast and not out here. So.
Oh, really? I never knew that.
There's many people I love to work with that we've been on projects together and just haven't been in studio together.
Wow, I hope you get to meet him because he is really lovely. I didn't see him at the signing table because he'd already gone by the time I managed to get there, get around and do everything. But I met him at the photo op, so he was really lovely. And Will Friedle was also there as well, so that was really cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Have you met Will before?
Will who? Will? What was it?
Will Friedle.
Oh yeah, of course I have. Yeah, I've worked with him in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ah, that's cool.
Yes,
Wow.
I played Corvus Glaive and then some of the characters and was in that show. And yeah,
Yeah.
Will's got a lot of energy.
Yeah, I do agree with you.
Like,
Yeah, and
okay, okay. I just get a nap for a minute. Yeah. Him and Trevor Duvall used to just when I would be in on the records, and Sobolov was there, and yeah, it was. I was exhausted by 5 minutes in. It's like I'm gonna sit down. I feel old. You guys run with
my
it.
my back. Oh yeah, he's brilliant. He was like to Kevin, "Oh, you should check out her arse." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you just said that."
Yeah,
Yeah, so he was just so lovely and
yeah,
everything. So
they're
what
all
was it
great.
like? Obviously, yeah. So playing Commissioner Gordon, did you take inspiration from Bob Hastings' portrayal of him, or were you asked to put your own spin on it?
No,
I know it's a generic question, but you know.
I just read and did my own spin on it. I just I just did my Batman. I just did, the grizzled cop. I just did
Yeah.
careful Batman. I did my thing,
Was
and
Batgirl in the
I'm
game? I
not trying
can't
to do it.
remember.
I can't remember. I don't play a lot of games. I think I played Ratchet and Clank once, all the way through, and I've been on with that franchise for how many years. I've played snippets here and there, but I just don't have
Yeah.
time. I don't have time. It's like golf. I don't have 6 hours. I can't. It's impossible. And so maybe I know I'm putting next door. I'm putting in a game room and some old maybe an arcade, and so I know what I'm doing next door in the room next door. But I'm putting a screen on the wall for the specific intent to hook up a PS5 just because I'll have it here if anybody wants to play. But the danger with me in games is I go down a rabbit hole and I'll sit for hours and I can't sit there for I need to be doing something or working out as well. I just haven't got the time. Because it's a time suck for me. It's not healthy for me because I'll go in there and I won't come out because I can't finish. I have to finish it. And if you're going to finish it, it's going to be a while. So I have to be very careful what games I'm going to play in there. I haven't decided yet. I know it's going to be a PS5. I'll have the thing and I'll get the Ratchet and Clank game Rift Apart that I haven't had a chance. I have it here. I haven't had a chance to even play it yet, and I'll have the whole experience. I am kind of interested in VR in virtual reality, and I could be down with something like that. But yeah, I know some of my friends, and I feel kind of like I'm not one of the crowd because a lot of them are gamers, and I says, wow, where do you get time? I have no time. Um, and when I do, I have to spend it with, my wife or the kids. I to do other things, but some of them, they know everything about them. And I wish I did. I really wish I did. I feel left out. But
Yeah.
maybe as I get older, maybe I'll get into games. I don't know.
Maybe Animal Crossing. I'm not sure if you heard of Animal
Who knows?
Crossing.
The
Yeah.
crossing, I don't know what that is.
It's really calm. You live on an island and you make friends with animals. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And you pay your
I
debts
don't know.
off to a raccoon. There we go. That's the
Yeah, I'm
best.
not sure. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah, maybe one day, maybe one day. I got to bring up this because I always watch this every single Christmas. The Rudolph, the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie that you voiced Cupid in.
Gosh,
Uh,
a long time ago.
oh, I know.
I remember doing
Yeah,
it.
and it's approaching fast, so I'm gonna have to watch it again. So you don't remember doing it at all?
Kind of. I've seen. I have clips, but I can't even remember what studio or where we did it.
I think John Goodman
I
was in
vaguely
it.
remember it. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
Gary Chalk was in it. He was in everything. Um,
yeah,
I'm
you and
pretty
him.
sure Scott McNeil was in it because he was in everything.
I think
Uh,
Kathleen Barr might have been in it.
Kathleen Barr, yeah, gosh, I haven't heard that name in years. I love her. I love. She's so fun. But
Huh.
yeah, I barely remember doing that at all.
Eric Idle, Debbie Reynolds, Bob Newhart,
Hey,
Whoopi
really?
Goldberg.
No, I don't
Yeah.
remember that. No, I have no, no idea. But I was a
Mm.
reindeer. That's good.
Yeah, yeah. Matt Hill was in it as well.
But yeah, Maddie.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, who else? Kathy Wessellook, Paul Dobson, Terry
I've
Klassen,
seen
Lee Toker out of
yeah.
Widows. Such a good cast. Yeah, I need to speak to Lee again. I haven't spoken to him in a while. Yeah, wow. I gotta ask, do you still have any plans? Do you have any plans to come to England at all, or
I
no?
don't know. There's a possibility of Sweden. I don't know if that's
Sweden?
yeah, which is kind of cool. But the UK only um, flying through to no, we're not actually even flying through. No, the first trip overseas is after Thanksgiving here on the 25th, and we're going to Portugal. We
Ooh,
fly through Madrid. I'm not sure if we fly through Heathrow or Charles de Gaulle on the way back. I think it's de Gaulle and then back to LA. But
wow.
I talked to some folks at over the weekend about the Transformers stuff. And of course, I'd love to go. That's all to do with my booking agent
Oh yeah,
and
TF
my
Nation,
schedule.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to get over that. I love because it's my heritage. I would love to go to Wales because I have cousins in Wales. I have cousins all over. I have cousins in Sussex, and Hastings. I have cousins just outside of London, and in Wales, I've got lots of relatives in Wales and in my stake in Cardiff, and I just Wales is ruggedly sexy. It's that country. I know it's rainy and it's rocky, but it has this Arthurian legendary feel to it. You're sitting in a pub overlooking some ruins, and yeah, it's so cool. So I've always wanted to do the Cardiff, Comic Con because I have lots of family over there. But that's to do with,
Yeah,
if they would even want me and my booking agent and schedule. So, but
that'd be
of
really
course,
cool. That'd be really
we'll see
cool.
how travel is, these days. I'm getting
Yeah,
used to it here. I'm still a little freaked out about, traveling, but
yeah, I
good.
understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Just out of curiosity, how much Welsh do you know?
I don't know too much about the official language of Welsh, but I know but I have, yeah, I took my son. We went over there. We went for a run around my stag. My cousins. I saw where my grandmother and her sister were born. I saw the cemetery where a lot of the relatives are buried. My great grandfather, was from there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I visited, knocked on doors of my relatives, and it was just so great. Going for a run with my son around the areas, the old coal mines up in the back, and we went to the Bach and the Garo and the valleys, and we saw the sheep
Yeah.
and
Well, I don't mind teaching you
an
some
Edinburgh.
Welsh phrases.
Yeah.
I can teach you some Welsh phrases
Oh,
if
God,
you
my
want.
great. They tried. It's pretty tough. Yeah.
Oh, well, they're not
Yeah.
they're not that hard. I know you've got Nostar, which is good night. Noswaithda, which is good evening. Prynhawn good afternoon. Bore good morning. Sutdachi, how are you? Hello is simply just hello. And when you want to introduce yourself, if you want to say I'm David, you say David Dewey.
Wow.
You say it backwards in Welsh. So if you're saying like, for example, um I'm trying to think of a good car, you'd have to say it as car gwych.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's
That's great. I've always wanted to.
or new car newid.
What's the one? It's the Cymru. That's the Cymru.
Camry, yeah. Croeso
Cymru.
i Gymru, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's welcome to
That's
Wales. Yeah,
cool.
it was
Love it.
nearly 200 days on Duolingo has paid that off.
There's the wedding
Yeah.
coming up next year, and so hopefully I'll get a chance to get back over there and see everybody. 'Cause, I dig it.
What's coming up next year? Sorry.
There's a wedding in the family next year.
Oh, that's so cool. Maybe we could bump into each other. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see when it comes around to it. The final thing I want to bring out, because it looks like we've only got about 5 minutes left on the remaining meeting time, so that perfectly
Right.
ties
Yes.
in well. I gotta ask, Robot Chicken, you voiced Megatron in a skit with a panda. What was it like to do that? I mean, I know
That
um
maximal.
as a fucking Maximal. Yeah, because
Yeah, I've always wanted
I
to be cathartic. That was so much fun. I was like being a kid in a candy store. I was like, oh my God, I'm in Robot. It's in Burbank, California. It's over there. I was like, I got a picture with the producer. It was just a lot of laughs. And
that's so
when I saw it,
cool.
I was like, ah, it's legendary. I mean, Robot Chicken. I mean, that's kind of the stuff I like. And so
Same as me.
bring this character, and see him walking around in Robot Chicken style was just the greatest. No, lots of fun. It's seriously, this is the same answer. It's like number one, really, they want to hire me, okay. And number two, it's like the most fun ever. Doing a voice and doing a crossover like that in comedy, it was insane. Because it's always magic to me, and that's why I don't like to look at stuff like IMDb and things. I don't want to know. I want to go in. I want to be surprised. Like a child sees things for the first time. That's how I sort of want to try to operate. And so I was quite thrilled to be in there and record that. That was a blast. When they got to swear as Megatron. That's cool.
Yeah, oh yeah, because I remember, I know Frank Welker's done a few Robot Chicken skits as like Soundwave and Megatron.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Cullen was meant to do one. It was of like Optimus Prime and he had cancer or something, but he actually turned it down because he took the role too seriously, which I respect him for. Or something like, I don't know the full story, but he turned it down. I'm not sure. I know there's other skits where Optimus appears. I'm not sure if Peter's done those or not, but I
No,
actually spoke. I'm not sure. Do you know a guy called Kean Carlisle?
no, I don't.
Maybe you met him at TF Con in LA back this March. Maybe.
Maybe if I saw a face, maybe, but the names, I'm not good with names.
I'll show you a picture afterwards. He showed me like one of his animated Optimus Prime toys that I actually saw in a secondhand shop a few months ago. It was going for about £100. And he was
Good.
like, it's not even worth £100. It's like $15. I was like, I don't know
Wow.
why.
The original Transmetal was like $14.99, yeah, US, and now it's worth 90. Apparently, somebody told me that this weekend. So,
Oh, really? Wow, that's so cool.
yeah.
Wow. I'm pretty sure he got a photo with you. Or maybe not. I don't know.
I have no,
Probably.
yeah, I can't. It was this past
He
weekend was
did. He did say you signed something. I can't remember which one, and I just remembered I forgot to ask him another question because I interviewed him last night. So, that's me being forgetful again. But anyways, I'll we'll explain it. We'll get more into detail one day. But really, just to close off this interview, I'd like to ask you if you could just say that line from Robot Chicken, because I apologize, I did talk over you before and I didn't realize you were saying it. The one when Megatron says,
Oh,
"I may have PTSD,
really have
but
to
that."
do that again?
Oh,
I may have PSD, but that is a fucking maximal. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Oh wow, David. What?
Yeah, just beat that out when you post it.
I'll censor it if it gives you the original feel. Gives you the original feel of it I'm gonna do a fake outro now, then I'm gonna properly say goodbye to you if that's okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, cool. Right, okay. David, where can we find you on social media?
Where can we find it? Let me see. At DKVO, at DKAYEVO. That's across Instagram and mostly on Twitter. And I have personal Facebook page. I mean, I rarely check. I post some stuff, and yeah, I'm not a huge fan, but I interact as much as I possibly can. But yeah, at DKVO and the website, there's all kinds of stuff there. Even I don't go to my own website often. I know my good friend for many years who runs the site updates me on things, but everything is all updated there. It's davidkaye.com. So yeah. Again, I'm the oblivious voiceover actor. I turn this on and do stuff and walk away and hope something sticks. I just enjoy it was so great to get together with the fans in Chicago. Not just fans, but friends and family. People have become over the years. It's really kind of special, and met some really amazing people again. So yeah, just thanks for your support and stuff. Thanks for your support. Vote for Megatron in 2022. Yeah.
I'll get those links in the description, David. Remember, don't go anywhere. Don't get around. Okay, but don't stay there. So with that, the second part of my David Kaye interview has come to an end. Maybe there'll be a part 3 in the future. Who knows? But for now, thank you so much for watching this little interview. Go check out David on all the social media pages. Stay safe, stay happy, and be kind to yourself and others. And hope you have a good day. Bye, and yeah.